All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. Today we're going to be talking about los verbos reflexivos y las rutinas diarias. Reflexive verbs and daily routines. And you see this guy bathing himself. I'll show you why in just a second. What is a reflexive verb? A reflexive verb is a verb that someone or something does to him or herself. Okay, so it's someone does an action to himself or to herself. The person is the one doing the action, does the action, and receives the action. All right, so I want you to look at this. Se mira. This kitty here in this picture is the one who's doing the looking. He's also the one that's getting looked at. So se mira, he looks at himself. Y se admira, he admires himself. You see the big lion in the mirror. Kitty's looking at himself. He's the one doing the looking. He's also the one who's getting looked at. So here's a visual representation of what's going on here. Joaquín se ducha por la mañana. Reflexive verbs reflect the action back to oneself. So se ducha, he's the one bathing himself. And we'll talk about this in just a second. Vamos a ver, what is a reflexive verb? We know that it's something that someone does to themselves. Some verbs can be regular or reflexive. All right, so I want you to think about this. La madre despierta a su hija. The mom wakes up her daughter. So on my left picture, mom's doing the waking up, but daughter is the one who's getting woken up. All right, so mom wakes up her daughter. That's a regular verb. Then I have la madre se despierta. Reflexive verb. Why? Because mom's doing the waking up. She's waking herself up. So she's waking someone up. Then someone who she's waking up is herself. So she's also getting woken up. Something she does to herself. Otro ejemplo. La madre peina a su hija. Mom combs her daughter's hair. Peinar, to comb. Or I have la madre se peina. Mom combs herself. Look, mom on the right is combing. She's also the one getting combed. So she's doing the action and she's receiving the action. Otro ejemplo. El padre viste a su hijo. You almost always see this word a after when it's a regular verb, right? Because he's doing it to his son. He's dressing his son. He's putting clothes on his son. Or el padre se viste. Note this word coming before all of these verbs when they're in the reflexive forms. Se viste. He dresses himself on the right here. So regular, he's doing it to his son. Reflexive, he's doing it and he's receiving it. He's doing it to himself. Y un ejemplo más. El barbero afeita, and I have that spelled wrong, afeita a Juan. Okay, barber shaves Juan. Barber's the one doing the shaving, Juan's the one receiving it. And my second one, Juan se afeita. Se afeita. Juan is the one doing the shaving. Juan is the one receiving the shaving. All right. So I want y'all to think. Is this regular or reflexive? This guy's doing the bathing. This guy's getting bathed. Right? This would be a reflexive verb because he's doing and receiving the action. He's the one doing the washing of his armpit. He's the one receiving the washing. How about this one? Regular or reflexive? You see somebody is doing this to the dog. So if it's me doing a verb to someone else, it's a regular verb. Vamos a continuar. And we'll do one more here. Regular or reflexive? To dry oneself off. You see he's doing the drying. He's also the one getting dried off. So if you are the person doing the action or if someone is the person doing the action to themselves, we know that it's a reflexive verb. A ver. They require the use of something that we call a reflexive pronoun. Yo requires the use of this me. So my reflexive pronoun is what tells me who is receiving the action. Okay, so when I have this me lavo, it says that I'm the one receiving the action. All right? Tu requires the use of te. It says that you are the person receiving the action. El, ella, usted requires the use of this se as a reflexive pronoun. Means that el, ella, usted is the person receiving the action. So he, she, or it, or you formal. And then se is also used for ellos, ellas, ustedes. And I believe I forgot to put one in here as well, which is this one right here, if you can see it. Nos. Nos. Nos is for nosotros. So it's saying that we are the ones receiving that action. A ver. With usted. A ver. Vamos a ver este. What reflexive pronoun is used with ellos? Va a ser se. Se. Now let's check this one out. Yo blank lavo las manos. I'm the one doing the washing because it's lavo, right? I'm the one doing the washing. In order to say that I'm the one receiving it, I wash myself. I'm going to put that me. Me. Vamos a poner me. Let's see the leaderboard. Look who's on top. Idiomas con Jake. I'm going to put me because I'm the one receiving the action. Okay, so that's why I'm going to put that me. And we could do this for a bunch of these. And let's check out a couple of more examples. For this one, for example, select the correct reflexive pronoun. I have Juan, one other guy, blank, acuesta tarde. Acostarse is like to lay oneself down to bed, to go to sleep. I want to say Juan lays himself down because he's the one doing the laying down and he's also the one getting laid down, right? So, oops, I forgot to answer that one. Va a ser se. Why? Because Juan, one other person, él is the person receiving the action in that sentence. Vamos a continuar. Reflexive pronouns in Spanish. These things that I'm talking about, me, se, te, nos, always go before the conjugated verb. So if we look at this sentence, yo me baño. Baño is I bathe. Me is myself, right? It's because when I bathe myself. I don't bathe you. I don't bathe my friend Josh. I bathe myself because I'm the one doing the bathing. I'm the one receiving the bathing. Or if it's an infinitive, like I'm using one of these verbs that I use with infinitives, I can attach it to the end. Okay, so I can say, yo quiero, I want to bathe myself. So if it's in a sentence with an infinitive verb, such as querer hacer algo, querer plus infinitive verb, I can tag it onto the end of that infinitive verb. So I can say, yo quiero bañarme. Make a note of that. And this one doesn't really apply to us because we still don't know about participles and that stuff. Vamos a continuar. We're always going to use a definite article, not a possessive adjective, to refer to parts of the body or clothing. I'll tell you what this means in just a second. In English, I say, I paint my nails. I paint my nails, right? In Spanish, since I'm already saying I paint myself, because I'm the one receiving the painting, I'm not going to say my again. I'm just going to say the equivalent of I paint myself the nails, right? So me pinto is I paint myself the nails. I will not say me pinto mis uñas. Same with this one. Te cortas el pelo. Cortarse is to cut oneself, but literally I'm cutting myself the hair. I'm cutting my hair. I'm not going to say tu pelo because I already have you cut yourself the hair. That's the part of yourself that you're cutting. Obviously, cutting your hair, right? So te cortas el pelo. This cortas is me saying that you're the one doing the cutting. This te is me saying that you're the one receiving the cutting, and then I have the hair. So I will not say te cortas tu pelo. We use this often with putting clothes on, because when I put clothes on, I'm the one who does the putting on, but I'm also the one who gets the clothes put on me, right? So, me pongo las botas cuando nieva. Cuando nieva, when it snows. Me pongo. This was one of our go-yo verbs. I put. Me is telling me that I'm the one receiving the putting of these clothes, right? Of specifically, las botas. ¿Qué son las botas? The boots. The boots, right? So I put on to myself the boots when it snows, right? Me pongo las botas cuando nieva. One last example. Necesito lavarme las manos. Okay, this is another example where it's a verb with another infinitive verb, just like we learned about a week ago. I need to wash myself the hands. So I will not say necesito lavarme mis manos, just because if I say mis, if I say my hands, I'm just being a little bit too redundant in Spanish. In Spanish, we like redundancy, but not quite that much. So necesito lavarme las manos. I need to wash myself the hands. Y vamos a ver. Which sentence is correct? Quiero arreglarme mi pelo. Quiero arreglar mi pelo. Quiero me arreglar mi pelo. O quiero arreglarme el pelo con doble L with two L's, right? This should be just one L. At the end of the day, it's going to be quiero arreglarme. I want to fix up myself. This is a verb with an infinitive verb, the hair. And I have one extra L in my el. That's totally my mistake. But I hope that this makes a little bit of sense to you. Just remember that some verbs we just do, like to go, and some verbs we do to ourselves, like to brush my teeth. Right? When I brush my teeth, I'm the one doing the brushing. I'm also the one receiving the brushing. Let's see my leaderboard. I think it's a pretty nice guy up at the top. Yeah, it is. Idiomas con Jake. He's a good guy. Just remember, it's verbs that we do to ourselves, but it doesn't have to be in the yo form either. It can be he puts his shoes on. He's the one doing the putting on. He's the one receiving the shoes, getting them put on him. So I hope this helps you guys out a little bit. This is the basics crash course of reflexive verbs. Just remember that you need a reflexive pronoun to say that somebody is the person receiving that action. I think that's one of the most important parts, and that some verbs can be reflexive and regular, right? Because I can wake myself up, that's a reflexive version, and I can wake my daughter up. That's a non-reflexive version, that's a regular verb, right? Because I'm doing the verb to someone else. So remember that. I thank you guys for being here. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like it or you hate it, please leave it in the comments. Tell me why. I'll try and make it better next time. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Cuídense mucho y pura vida.